Deep in the heart of British Columbia, a giant sleeps. The tallest peak in the coast mountains, Mount Waddington, beckons. This isn't just a mountain, it's a test. A test of willpower, a test of strength, and a test of your connection with raw, untamed nature. I've climbed mountains all over the world, faced blizzards in the Himalayas and scorching heat in the Sahara. But there's something special about Mount Waddington. Maybe it's the raw beauty, towering glaciers, ancient forests, and crystal-clear lakes paint a picture of untouched wilderness. So, are you ready to answer the call? Nestled within the vast wilderness of Canada's coast mountains, Mount Waddington stands as a testament to nature's grandeur. Often overshadowed by its southern cousin, Mount Robson, Waddington holds a special allure for those seeking true isolation and untamed beauty. Reaching a staggering 13,186 feet, Waddington isn't just a climb, it's an expedition. The rugged terrain, unpredictable weather, and sheer remoteness make it a challenge reserved for experienced mountaineers. But for those who dare to venture into its domain, the rewards are immeasurable. It's a stark reminder that even in the most extreme conditions, nature's resilience knows no bounds. Mount Waddington isn't for the faint of heart. This is a mountain that demands respect. Standing tall at over 13,000 feet, it's a giant, a colossus of rock and ice that dominates the surrounding landscape. The sheer scale of it is humbling. The terrain is as unforgiving as it is beautiful. Glaciers, carved by millennia of ice and wind, snake down the mountainside like giant, icy rivers. These are wild, unpredictable forces of nature, riddled with crevasses and prone to sudden shifts. One wrong step, and you could find yourself plunging into an icy abyss. It's a constant test of your nerve, your stamina, and your mountaineering skills. If the terrain doesn't get you, the weather will. Mount Waddington is notorious for its unpredictable and often brutal conditions. One day you might be basking in the sun, enjoying the crisp mountain air and the stunning views. The next, you could be battling a raging blizzard, the wind howling like a banshee, the temperature plummeting to bone-chilling lows. The weather can change in the blink of an eye up here. One minute the sky is clear, the next it's choked with thick, swirling clouds. Visibility drops to zero, and you're left feeling exposed, vulnerable. It's a humbling experience, to say the least. But amidst this harsh, unforgiving environment, life finds a way. Golden eagles, their wingspans dwarfing even the largest birds of prey, soar effortlessly on the updrafts, their sharp eyes scanning the slopes for marmots and other unsuspecting prey. Mountain goats, their hooves adapted for gripping the steepest rock faces, navigate the treacherous terrain with an agility that would put any seasoned climber to shame. The resilience of these creatures is awe-inspiring. They've adapted to survive in a place where most life struggles to gain a foothold. To witness these creatures in their natural habitat, to see them conquer the same challenges that we as climbers face, is a privilege. It's a reminder that we're not separate from nature, we're a part of it. You might think that a place as harsh and unforgiving as Mount Waddington would be devoid of life. You'd be wrong. Life, as they say, finds a way. And here, amidst the glaciers and the granite peaks, thrives a surprising diversity of flora and fauna. Down in the valleys, where the glaciers relinquish their icy grip and give way to meadows and forests, you'll find a riot of color. Wildflowers, their blooms a kaleidoscope of hues, carpet the ground in spring, attracting bees and butterflies with their sweet nectar. Trees, their roots clinging tenaciously to the thin soil, provide shelter for birds and small mammals. They're survivors, every one of them. The forests that cloak the lower slopes of Mount Waddington are a sight to behold. Towering Douglas firs, their trunks thick as ancient columns, reach for the sky, their canopies forming a dense emerald ceiling. Western red cedars, their bark a tapestry of reddish-brown hues, stand sentinel along the banks of rushing streams, their branches draped with moss that drips like emerald rain. The air here is thick with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. Sunlight filters through the canopy, dappling the forest floor in a mosaic of light and shadow. As the days grow shorter and the nights grow colder, the forests of Mount Waddington undergo a breathtaking transformation. The leaves of the deciduous trees turn from green to brilliant shades of yellow, orange, and red, creating a spectacle that rivals the most elaborate fireworks display. But it's the animals that truly capture the imagination. These are creatures that have adapted to survive in one of the most challenging environments on Earth. High above the tree line, where the air is thin and the wind howls like a banshee, you might catch a glimpse of a mountain goat. These sure-footed creatures, their coats as white as the surrounding snow, navigate the treacherous slopes with an agility that would put any seasoned climber to shame. They are the undisputed masters of this vertical world, their hooves perfectly adapted for gripping the steepest rock faces. To witness these magnificent creatures in flight, to see them ride the thermals with such grace and power, is a truly humbling experience. Mount Waddington is a siren song for climbers. Its jagged peaks, those icy guardians of the sky, are a challenge few can resist. This isn't your average climb, though. This is serious mountaineering, the kind that tests not just your physical strength, but your mental fortitude as well. You're not just battling the mountain here, you're battling the elements. The weather can change in an instant, turning a pleasant ascent into a desperate fight for survival. And when you finally reach that summit, exhausted but exhilarated, the view makes it all worthwhile. Climbing Mount Waddington might be the ultimate goal, but it's not the only way to experience its grandeur. The surrounding area is a network of trails, each one offering a unique perspective on this wild and beautiful landscape. For those who prefer to keep their feet on solid ground, there are plenty of hiking options. Some trails wind through lush valleys, carpeted in wildflowers in the spring and ablaze with color in the fall. No matter which path you choose, you're guaranteed breathtaking views, encounters with wildlife, and a sense of solitude that's hard to find in our increasingly crowded world. Whether you choose to climb its icy peaks or explore its network of trails, Mount Waddington demands respect. This is a wilderness area, untouched and unforgiving. It's not a place for the ill-prepared or the faint of heart. Before you venture into this wild and unforgiving landscape, you need to be prepared. Bring the right gear, study the maps, check the weather forecast, and be ready for it to change at a moment's notice. And most importantly, let someone know your plans. Mount Waddington is a test, and for those who pass the test, the rewards are immeasurable. Mount Waddington isn't just a mountain. It's a monument to the relentless power of nature, a testament to the eons it takes to carve a landscape from solid rock. The forces of erosion, those patient artists of the wild, have been at work here for millennia, sculpting the peaks and valleys, grinding down the granite, and shaping a landscape that's as dramatic as it is beautiful. Everywhere you look, you see evidence of this ancient battle between rock and ice. Towering cliffs, their faces scarred with deep grooves, stand as stark reminders of the glaciers that once flowed here. Gigantic boulders, ripped from the mountainside by the relentless advance and retreat of the ice, lie scattered across the landscape. These valleys, carved by ice and time, are a testament to the power of nature's slow, relentless processes. High above the tree line, where the air thins and the temperature plummets, The glaciers reign supreme. These rivers of ice, some of them miles long and hundreds of feet deep, flow slowly but relentlessly down the mountainside. To stand at the edge of a glacier is to feel a sense of awe and insignificance. The scale of these icy giants is simply staggering, a humbling reminder of the immense power of nature. The glaciers of Mount Waddington are not just a spectacle, they are a vital part of the ecosystem, feeding the rivers and streams that sustain life in the valleys below. But they are also a stark reminder of the effects of climate change. To witness these icy giants is to understand the urgency of addressing this global crisis before it's too late. Descending from the icy heights of the glaciers, you enter a different world. Here, in the valleys that snake between the peaks, life flourishes. Sheltered from the worst of the elements, these valleys are a riot of color, a testament to nature's resilience and ability to thrive, even in the harshest of environments. In the spring, the meadows explode in a kaleidoscope of wildflowers. Delicate alpine forget-me-nots paint the ground blue, their tiny blooms a stark contrast to the rugged landscape around them. Bright yellow glacier lilies push up through the melting snow, their cheerful blooms a welcome sign of spring. These valleys, carved by ice and time, are a sanctuary for life, a reminder that beauty can be found even in the most unexpected of places. Standing amidst the grandeur of Mount Waddington, surrounded by towering peaks and valleys teeming with life, it's impossible not to feel a sense of perspective. The sheer scale of the landscape dwarfs the human ego, reminding you of your place in the grand scheme of things. Here, amidst the raw beauty of the wilderness, the worries and anxieties of everyday life seem to melt away. The digital noise fades into the background, replaced by the sounds of the wind, the water, and the birds. It's a chance to reconnect with your primal self, to remember what it means to be truly alive. Mount Waddington may seem untouched by time, but it holds secrets, whispers of a past long gone. Centuries ago, the indigenous people knew this mountain well. They called it by names that spoke of its power and majesty. These people lived in harmony with the land. They hunted, fished, and gathered plants. Their lives were intertwined with the mountain. Today, few traces remain, a scattering of ancient campsites marked by fire-blackened stones and pottery shards. A weathered petroglyph, its meaning lost to time. These are the whispers of the past, faint echoes of a time when humans lived in closer communion with nature. Though their physical presence may have faded, the spirit of the indigenous people lingers on in the shadow of Mount Waddington. For them, this was never just a mountain. It was a sacred place, a place of power and mystery, a place where the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds was thin. They believed the mountain was inhabited by spirits, powerful beings who could influence the weather, the hunt, and the fate of their people. They would offer prayers and sacrifices to these spirits, seeking their favor and protection. Today, we might scoff at such beliefs, dismissing them as primitive superstition. But standing here, amidst the raw grandeur of this place, it's hard not to feel a sense of awe and wonder, a sense that there's something more to this world than meets the eye. Perhaps the indigenous people understood something we've forgotten, something about the interconnectedness of all things, the sacredness of the natural world. Perhaps, in their own way, they were right. Mount Waddington is more than just a climb, more than just a hike. It's a journey into the heart of the wild, a journey that will test your limits and push you to the edge. But it's also a journey that will reward you in ways you can't imagine. You'll come face to face with your own mortality, feel the raw power of nature, and stand in awe of a landscape that has remained unchanged for millennia. You'll breathe in the crisp mountain air, feel the sun on your face, and drink from icy streams, And when you finally stand on that summit, overlooking a sea of peaks that stretch as far as the eye can see, you'll know a sense of accomplishment few will ever experience. So, what are you waiting for? Pack your gear, lace up your boots, and answer the call of the wild. Mount Waddington awaits.